Some of the data this morning. Let's talk some housing. Alan Nuckman's joining us, Chief Market Strategist at BullseyeOption.com. You got housing on the mind, Mr. Nuckman, and it's cooled off a bit as rates rise, but this morning bonds are calm, and home builders are trying to turn it around, but having a little bit more difficulty than the NASDAQ right now. Still down about 0.5%. What are you thinking with this group?
Well, I'm thinking that markets get overdone, and I think we may have seen that interest rate rally. And, that's the reason that this sector has suffered so badly. And it's bad enough to buy. If you look at it, it's down 25%, XHB, which is a home builders, down 25% in 2022. And the PE ratio, let's get into the fundamentals, for this sector is 10. So this is a sector that's much cheaper than it was. The 10-year highs were placed in December. And then we've been a straight down slide as everybody's completely focused on interest rates. But like Adam said earlier, we have priced it in. We've priced it in to get us to 2 3/4. That's already built in the market. So, I think the market's gotten a little bit overdone on this interest rate hype and this decline that we've seen in the home builders.
Yeah, the home builders sitting right near recent lows. Last week tried to break away a little bit from the market softness, but didn't get too far. You're looking at the overall group, not anyone in particular, right?
Well, it's a psychology play as well. And it's bullish divergence in this sector in the fact that it's made new lows, but not new highs, implied volatility. That same fact has happened in DH Horton, Lennar, and Pulte. So any one of those three has set up technically, but instead of picking an individual stock, you can trade the XHB and you've got the whole group. So what I'm looking for is a shift in psychology. These short sellers are going to have to cover and take profits at some point, and there's some value here. This is a sector that's been trading between 65 and 75 for 3 months. A breakout of this range targets 85. In the big picture, we've been between 25 and 85 for 5 years. So 55 is a super support midpoint level. I'm looking at the September 55 call, trading for less than 10. It's got 5 months of time. And if we get just to the top end of this range, 65 to 75, this option will double in value. So there's plenty of time for good things to happen.
Okay. So this is giving yourself a good bit of turnaround time, Alan.
Right.
Hey, Alan, have you been having to push out your durations for these trades?
Yeah, actually, now that volatility is hovering around the 20 level, you're able to buy more time than we had just a few months ago when vol was double. So
True.
That's a function of the balance that I do each and every week. In this instance, this is deep in the money, and it's a basic stock substitution strategy that we follow. So the choice is to spend $6,000 to buy 100 shares, or spend $1,000 and have the right to be long from 55, which is an extreme low support level. So that's the choice we make as a trader. We balance this out, but it's all about reward as well. A modest move in this stock produces big gains, and we've seen that here over and over and over.
Okay. Alan, this morning we've got stocks trying to bounce. I know you like that. We got VIX higher too, though. Should that make us question the rally?
Well, we're stalling out right now. We had a huge surge, from that bottom, and now we've been going sideways, which I view as constructive. We really haven't tested the downside that significantly so far. We've got the earnings, so now we're into fundamental facts, and we're going to talk about, our earnings are off a little bit from last year, but that was a unique situation. But focus on the margins, and the margins are still significantly higher than the 5-year average, which is very much a positive, even though some of these commodity prices have continued to climb.
All right. Appreciate it, Mr. Nuckman, as always, for the trade here. Buying some in-the-money calls on the home builders, XHB, which is also some home improvement in there, too, XHB. The pure home builders is the ITB, so you get a little bit of variety in here as well. All things connected to housing, looking for a bounce. Alan Nuckman, Chief Market Strategist at BullseyeOption.com. When we get back, let's return to the Elon story. I was just looking at some of his tweets in the break. He's got a lot of emojis he's been throwing around, and big news outlets have been covering it. There's literally headlines now from Bloomberg News telling investors what emoji he used. My goodness, what has become of us?